All yours.
All right, okay, I'll officially call the meeting to order. So first of all, welcome everyone. We'll move on to the discussion of the meeting logistic. I'll essentially just be going over the agenda. Next, we're going to be doing roll call and determination of the quorum. Before will be chair's comments. Agenda item number 5, we're going to see any updates from any representatives of elected officials or city departments. Right now, I don't believe that we have any, but if any do happen to pop in, then we'll happen to let that do so. Number 6 will be public comments on items not on the agenda and within the purview of the board. Number 7, so the primary discussion of today is going to be the possible action regarding phase 3 of the application submission of the Keep LA Beautiful grant in conjunction with beautification chair, Mr. Jason Hector. Agenda item number 8 is going to be a discussion of committee outreach goals with Mahima and I. And number 9 is going to be discussion of possible collaboration with the Granada Hills South Neighborhood Council Youth Committee. So agenda item number 10 is we're going to be discussion of the next possible meeting and committee date. No, it shouldn't take that long. And then 11 will be meeting adjournment. Alrighty, okay. So since Mahima is not, I don't believe Mahima's here yet, I can do roll call. So for roll call, Mr. Bannon, would I just be calling out you and then Mr. Hector and then Mr. Anajar? Mr. Assad?
That's fine.
Yeah, okay. All right. I'll call a roll call for myself. Chair Madison Cha, Mr. David Balin.
Here.
Mr. Jason Hector.
I'm here.
Mr. Assad.
Here.
Fantastic. All righty. So moving on to agenda item number 5, the updates from representatives of elected officials or city departments. I don't believe that we have any representatives or elected officials in for today, so we'll be moving on. Number 6, public comment on items not on the agenda and purview of the board. So this time is open to any stakeholders or any committee members inside that want anything to say, want anything to bring up. If nobody has any comments, we can move on.
I'll do a general comment.
Okay.
Please go ahead.
Yes. First, Happy New Year to everybody. And just wanted to share with the youth committee that within the city of LA, we've been having a lot of issues with wire theft and loss of streetlights. And Jason has reported to me some locations. And the good news is I have allocated a crew dedicated for Porter Ranch. So the next 3-4 days, I'll be working with them 3 a.m. through 3 p.m. They're going to start on the a.m. hour, and we're going to fix the lights for everybody in Porter Ranch. Hopefully, it will be done within a week. Thank you.
Perfect. Thank you so much.
We're on it, Assad. It was even Wilbur, man. I went by there last night. My wife was driving, and it's scary because you're going up Reseda and it's just like dark, all the way up to ET Park. And then we went around and came down Tampa, and even Tampa,
Right.
Oh, it's a mess.
I have about 200 lights out.
I'm sure, man. It's well, thanks for helping us with that.
Yes, thank you very much. We appreciate all your efforts, especially made in the community. So if no one else has any updates or any sort of public comment, be moving on to the next agenda item. All righty, perfect. So moving on to agenda item number 7, which is discussion of possible action regarding the application submission of the Keep LA Beautiful grant, beautification grant. Mr. Brown, do you have a question?
I do. Do you want, can we allow your guests to introduce themselves?
Yes, definitely.
You have a pretty good group of people here. I just think that they might want to say hello and introduce themselves. Thank you.
Can you let me share screen, David?
Yes. Let's do the introduction first, if they don't mind, and then I'll share the screen also while we're doing that, Jason.
Perfect.
I'll start and I can introduce myself first, and then we'll just go round robin here. I'm the treasurer of the Porter Ranch Neighborhood Council, and I'm the chair of beautification. And the main project that we're working on with the committee is the the park beautification project, and we'll get into it more. But we started working in collaboration on this a while ago, and it's now. So yeah, looking forward to working with you guys. And my daughter goes to Castle Bay. She's 9. So
Yesterday.
yeah, she had a birthday. And I'm the governance chair at Castle Bay as well. So I'm very involved at the schools. So we plan on going to Granada. She does. So just I like being involved with the youth and helping you guys to figure out how to get things done with the city. So just look at it like, David and I and Assad are here to help make what you want to make happen. We'll do, like with the grant, we did all the paperwork and all that, got it approved. And now you guys are going to get to do, the rest, the fun part. So anyways, that's my introduction.
All right. Thank you, Mr. Hector. Mr. Ben, I just wanted to let you know, Mahima, I believe, is in the attendees right now.
I got her. Hold on. That next, I think Claire's up.
Perfect. Yeah, I just wanted to say, I wanted to give a big thanks to Mr. Hector because he's been very, very supportive ever since the creation of the Porter Ranch Neighborhood Council Youth Committee. And we've worked on projects before in the past, and everybody here, especially Mr. Balin, Mr. Assad, and Mr. Hector, you've all been so supportive and helpful throughout the entire process. So without you, this committee could not be possible. So I really, really appreciate all the time and effort that you've been.
Madison, let me stop you because you're so modest, and we're honored to have you, because if it wasn't for you wanting to step up and get involved with the Porter Ranch Neighborhood Council and working with us to establish the first Porter Ranch Neighborhood Council Youth Committee, I think you need to really value what you're doing and what you're bringing to the table. So we thank you.
Of course. Thank you. Thank yous all around. So I believe the majority of us here are students. So for introductions, we can just do name, grade. I see a lot of familiar faces. So we can do name, grade, school, and I don't know if you guys want to do a fun fact about yourself, and if you would like to, you may. No pressure to do so. I can go first. My name is Madison Cha. I'm a senior at Granada Hills Charter High School, and I wanted to cover a really fun fact about me, but you can see I'm very, very passionate about promoting civic education and awareness through my community as well as in school. So yeah, I'm going to popcorn it off to Mahima, who is also the co-chair of the youth committee, who just joined us right now.
Hi guys, sorry, I had issues with my computer, so I'm on my phone. But yeah, my name is Mahima. I am 17. I'm a senior at Granada Hills Charter High School. And a fun fact about me is I am very into like filmmaking and like social activism. Are we like allowed to are we supposed to popcorn it?
For those if you guys feel comfortable doing so, well, popcorn, I think that might be the easiest way. But if you can't turn your camera on, or there's microphone issues, just let me know. Yeah. Oh. Alrighty. Okay, I'll pick then. Alrighty. Claudia.
Hi, I'm Claudia. I'm in my sophomore year, also at Granada. And a fun fact about me is that I really like knitting, so that's something I do a lot.
Thank you, Claudia. Mr. President, we have 2 more attendees in the participants. We've Jaden and Angela Yang.
Got it. Thank you.
Thank you. Alrighty, I'll popcorn off to Lauren.
Hi everyone, my name is Lauren Shaw and I'm also a sophomore at Granada Hills Charter High School. And a fun fact about me is that I'm a competitive swimmer for almost 10 years now, and it's something that I'm very passionate about.
Thank you, Lauren. Yeah, just clean with my sister. She's actually been attending. She wanted to attend one of the meetings today, so I invited her out. Alrighty, I'll popcorn it off to Claire, if you're able to unmute. If not, no worries.
Hi, my name is Claire. I'm also a sophomore at Granada Hills Charter High School. And a fun fact about me is that I like playing basketball.
Great, thank you, Claire. Alrighty, for Angela and Jaden that just came, we're just doing a quick little introduction of ourselves, just name, grade, age, and fun fact, and I think I said that earlier, but fun fact. No pressure to do the fun fact though. I'll popcorn it off to Angela.
Hi, I'm Angela. I'm a sophomore at Granada. And then I guess one fact about me is that I am a programmer on the robotics team there.
Very cool, Angela, thank you. And then last but not least, Jaden.
Hello, I'm Jaden. I am a freshman at Chapter Charter High School. And something interesting is I'm in charge of the robotics club at CCHS.
Thank you. Alrighty. Mr. Assad, did you want to introduce yourself as well?
Okay, I'll go ahead. Yeah, I'm Assad Al-Najjar. I live here in Porter Ranch. I work for the city of Los Angeles for 32 years. I'm the former vice president of the Porter Ranch Neighborhood Council and currently with the Sustainability Committee. And on a special note, I'm very active with the VEX Robotics on the capacity of a referee. So this way, sometimes if anybody of you is doing robotics competitions, they might see me as a referee with the yellow hat and the referee t-shirt. And I'm very proud of your committee. And, to add what David and Jason said, from attending your meetings, I learned a lot of new skills that enhanced my meetings. And I thank you for that. You shed an angle that we, the adults, haven't really looked at many times. And I commend you for that. Thank you.
No, I said it's definitely what one of the aims of the youth committee was to at least inject a youth perspective into neighborhood council affairs. Alrighty, that's it for introduction. I don't think I missed anybody. If I did, just let me know. But
Jason, you want to share the screen? I gave you the screen.
right. So a quick introduction for those of you who just joined the meeting. So the part of the discussion today is going to be about possible action regarding phase 3 of the application of the submission of the LA Beautiful Community Beautification Grant. So essentially what this grant is something that Mr. and I have been working on for a while now. It's basically this grant that's going to be going towards different parks in Porter Ranch with different little mini projects that we're going to be dispersing throughout. So some of the examples that we're thinking about doing is we have to hire certain artists and certain painters to perhaps paint different murals. I believe we are also talking about painting trash cans as well as creating some sort of construction of doggy bag holders, I think for dogs near Limestone Canyon as well. I believe there's other things involved with that too. What else? Yeah, I'll hand over the floor to Mr. Hector and you can talk a bit more.
I can't share though yet, David.
Okay, so let's, you're on, now you're on. Let me go back to you, Jace, okay?
All right.
Push share. Can you take over, Jace?
Yeah, let's see here. Oh. Wait, you got to stop sharing that Zoom screen. Okay, let's try now. Still disabled.
Here, let's do this then.
But I'll just talk while we get that pulled up. So
Try it now. Can you pull it?
yeah, hold on a second. Yep. Okay, cool. So let's start with this one. This is the can everybody see the letter from the city? This is the congratulations. So we got approved. They selected 14 winners from 52 entries. So we did really good on getting that approved. And then let me go to the next thing. Whoops. Just bear with me here. Let's see. So,
Jason, is there a time period that this work has to be completed by?
Yeah, the end of the fiscal year, which is going to be the middle of the year, so June 30th. So now let me pull up the application that we submitted that got approved. So this is the application. And so we got $1,500 in matching from the neighborhood council, and we got $1,504 in grant funds. So we got quite a bit of money to work with. And so this is a little explanation. So we're gonna do the dog waste bag dispensers in like we're gonna put up maybe 4 or 5 of them in the different parks. And this is the breakdown of the budget here. So we have the dispensers. Some of them will have this just be the dispensers, some will be with signs, but there's some flexibility here. You know, if we want to add one or do one less. The other part here, a lot of this primer and the anti-graffiti coating, that's going to be for painting the trash cans. So we got a lot of trash cans in our parks. The parks we're talking about are the one on Cessnon, Holly Burnson Park, and also Lime Kiln Canyon Park. And then we have what we call ET Park, which is Reseda and Cessnon. And then we have Viking Park, and then we have Wilbur and Tampa Park. So there's quite a few. And the idea is we wanted to give a lot of the trash cans a fresh coat of paint in green, but we also wanted to do some artwork. So I put here I put here $100 per can. I'm hoping that we can give a little more to the artist, but just keep in mind, like, we're going to pay for everything. So the artists aren't going to have to pay for anything. So whatever they need, you know, and I was thinking if they want to do stencils, you know, we can buy stencils. If they need painter's tape or the paint or the brushes, the paint sets, like all that stuff, we're going to get a card and I can purchase everything. So the artists are going to be able to keep all the paints and the brushes and all that and buy whatever they want to make the artwork happen. Because see this PRNC matching $1,500, I just built that in as like a buffer in case they decide they want to charge us fees or whatever. So we have money to work with. This is essentially, unless they decide to charge us a bunch of fees. But basically the next step right now is we need to get a permission letter from Recs and Parks, Recreation and Parks. So before we do that, we need to get this paperwork for the art, because these other things are pretty much straightforward, but the artwork, they want to have it go before for review and approval. So anytime, you know, you're going to do artwork in the park, they're going to want it approved. Let me just finish here. So like this for the dog waste bag holders here, the $900. Let's see what else, just while I have it up here. Yeah, see, this is a little waste station. So we could put some of these in the parks. And then we got $1,500 that the neighborhood council has pledged. And then, yeah, and then we got a nice, yeah, so these pictures are good. So you can see, like, here's where we would put the dog waste bag holders. And then this is on the left is Wilbur Tampa Park. And then these two on the right are Aliso Canyon Park. I forgot to mention that. And then these are benches that we can repair. That's definitely within, you know, my wheelhouse, repairing all that. And then we got a nice letter of support from the councilman's office, especially for the art. They're very excited and they're going to support us. But I basically need you guys to help with the art part of it. So let me close this screen out and let's pull up the letter, the one that I sent you guys, which you filled out the people's names. So let's see, we have here Natalie, Irene, Katia, Tiffany, Ashley. Okay, so you know, I think we could probably do about see, like, cost of project, the materials are all covered. We could probably do maybe 10 to 15 cans. You know, it all depends on how many artists you have and how many cans each artist wants to do. So basically what we're going to do is get them all ready. So we'll get them cleaned, sanitized, and primed and ready for the artwork. But we need to get this second part finished here. So you did part A, application. Now, when they say resume, it's okay. You know, you guys are students, right? So it's not like you have a long resume. So you're just going to basically put whatever it is that you have, you know, like I'm an art student, or I'm in this art club, or, you know, or if you want to, like, if all those artists are part of a specific group, then they can all say, well, we're all members of the, you know, so like, okay, written narrative, see how it says, don't worry about funding source, artist selection process. So we can just write that, that the artists were selected through the youth committee, you know, the youth committee. I can help you with this stuff, but basically what I need is just like a, see, like part 4, community context. How does the design fit within the existing environment in terms of, so like themes, you know, we're doing it in a park, right? And we're doing it in Porter Ranch. So the types of themes that you might consider would maybe be like a wildlife theme, or maybe you want to pay like homage to your school. Maybe you want to do a can that's like in your school colors, or maybe you want to do something for, you know, we have Chatsworth High, which is like, if you do Holly Burnson Park, a lot of the residents, they send their kids to Chatsworth, right? And then like on the other side of Tampa, you know, they send their kids to Granada, right? And then we have Castle Bay, right? And then we have PRCS. So I was thinking, what a good thing you might want to do, like a school themed one. But you know, the theme should fit within the environment in where it is. So you know, maybe something like promoting, you know, keeping our parks clean, right? Or you know, like there's something that people say, you know, take more than you bring with you. Like, in other words, when you go, you know, like Jill Mather says, you know, take a bag with you and leave with some trash, right? So it's like, you know, help keep our parks clean, or things like that. Those are all good, you know, maybe animals, wildlife, just something. So those are good ideas. But basically what they should do is just do like essentially like a flag, right? Because when you look at a trash can, it wraps around like a flag, right? So if you take a flag, a rectangle, and you do the artwork, it's going to basically wrap around the trash can like this, right? So I was thinking maybe even a flag idea would be good, you know. But basically you're going to take like a piece of paper, like 8.5 by 11, and you could probably put like 3 on one page, and just do basic, even if it's just like a color scheme. Like, have you seen some of the trash cans they did on Reseda Boulevard? Have you seen some of those? Yeah. So even that kind of theme where you just have like, you know, made like introducing some cool colors, you know? So I really am like kind of leaning on you guys as the artists to come up with the ideas. And I'll help with everything else, like this maintenance part. I'll take care of that. Anti-graffiti coating, basically like the number 4 and the number 3 part. And then see how it says E, detailed sketch or drawing. So, you know, they just use like maybe colored pencils or something. And then I can help with the precise area. We can come back, and once we get some, but we just need to get something to submit. And I'll take care of the photographs and the site surroundings. I'll take care of all that. But just basically the artist coming up with some ideas. Something that we could submit to the recreation and parks.
Right, definitely. Mr. Billy, do you have a question? I saw that your hand was raised earlier.
Sorry, once I get going.
No worries at all. Yeah, Mr. Balin? Yes.
Sorry, I was on mute. Yeah, when we were naming out some of the artists that had already, you know, are interested in participating, are we still able to ask for more, like a call to artists for more students to get involved, or is this set in stone?
Yeah, I was actually planning on asking you that as well, Mr. Hector, because Part of the reason why I wanted to extend this to at least all the students as well that attended the meeting today, just because part of the reason why this was kind of brought to the youth committee was so perhaps it was something like a project that interested students from high schoolers should come and work on, regardless of whether they're good at painting or not. They can just help with maybe like some of the labor involved in doing so. So I was wondering if the artists were set in stone yet.
I mean, nothing's set in stone because we have to get the approval from Recreation and Parks, and we're basically telling them like what we want to do. So it's up to you guys, you know. Like David and I talked about it. It started with the youth committee, so I was just leaving it right there, and you know, leaving it to you guys, because as long as we have enough people to do all the trash cans, then we don't need to open it up, right? So part of that depends on how many these individuals want to paint, because you have is it 5 or 6 people, 5 people here? So if each person does like what, 2 cans, or maybe some people only want to do 1, maybe some people want to do 3. I think we can probably do about like 12 to 15 of them potentially, but you know, we have to come up with the designs, and the designs have to go through Recreation and Parks. So we could say we want to do 15 cans, and they can come back and say, well, you know, we're only approving these 10, you know. So it's all kind of but I think we can present it as a youth committee project for local high school students, right? That's kind of how we present it, because you have like Chaminade and you have Granada and Chat, you know what I'm saying? I think that's kind of how we put it in, because when they say how you came up with, where was it here? Artist selection process number 2. How is the artist selected? I'll write all that for you guys. Don't worry about this stuff. All I need is basically 3, 4, and then part E. If you guys could work on that stuff with these individuals, and if there's others that want to get involved, then that's fine too. You know,
Mahima has her hand up as well.
Go ahead, Mahima.
What I was thinking is, so the artists that we put on the form, and Madison can like, I don't know, second this, but the artists that we put on our form is part of a group called Dear San Fernando Valley. So what they would do is like they would help us like with the designing and kind of help us like draw the designs. But like everyone on the youth council, and we probably could have like more of a call to other artists to help paint the trash cans. But the artists on the form are like the people who would help us design it so it like looks like professional, and so it like is like all like organized properly, and so like everyone has like a specific can, so they would have the lines and we would help paint them. I don't know if that makes sense, but that way that we would have like a lot of artists that could help, like a lot of students that could help, so like everyone here would be able to help like paint a trash can, but not necessarily like design the trash can as much. I don't know if that.
Yeah, no, it makes sense. So maybe if you could kind of write that down for me and just say, yeah, you know, these are all members of this group and they will be doing the designs. And keep in mind, you know, you could do the same design in multiple parks, right? So if you have like a design that you really like, and maybe you want to do 2 cans, they could be 2 identical cans in different parks, right? We could put one in Holly Burnson and one in Limekiln, you know, so I think the basic thing is to come up with like some good concepts and ideas, enough to do maybe like, you probably want to come up with more, right? Because they may reject some. I don't anticipate that happening, but I'll be sending these to the councilman's office to get their sign off and support, so that Rex and Parks will want to support it as well, right? Because if the councilman says we support this, then Recreation and Parks is more inclined to say, oh, okay, well, if he likes it in his district, we're good with it too. You see what I'm saying?
Where would you want us to write down like the artist thing that I was just talking about?
So that would be like on part
Jason, you might be able to add it just as an exhibit, you know that?
Yeah, well, like D2, see how it says artist selection process? That would be where you put, and also like artist resume part B, see how it says artist resume? That would be like their background, that their background is being part of this group, right? And if they have any relevant experience, like maybe they've studied art at school, or maybe they've done, a lot of, maybe they've done projects on their own, or, it's understandable with the youth. They're not expecting you to have this, major resume. It's just a matter of, is the content acceptable to the community? I think that's the main thing, that they're looking for. And that's in talking to the councilman's office, they're not expecting that. They're just expecting that it's going to be like a nice theme that the community will like. I think that's the most important. And that they'll like too. So I think that's pretty much, I think I covered most everything, but that's kind of like what we need right now to move this along. So like maybe in the next like week or two, if you could get them to kind of work on a few designs. I shared my ideas, but maybe some of the other people have their own ideas. I mean, like maybe like a dog themed one might be cool, because a lot of people, they walk their dogs in the park. I don't know. There's a lot of different ideas, but I think it's good to kind of bounce ideas around, and then and maybe they can do that collectively as a group. But there are stipends involved, and I'll do my best to like expend all the money that we have as much as we can give to the artists. I put down 100 per can. I see that as the bare minimum. I see like I'd like to give them more, like 150 or 200, and it just depends on how things play out. But there will be a stipend involved, for sure. I'm done. I think. Did you guys want to give some thoughts or any feedback, ideas?
Let's turn this back over to
Yeah.
Madison, and she can work with. Go ahead.
I think Madison, I think the call got cut off. I might be wrong.
She'll have to come back in. We'll wait for her. Let me see. This is the screening. Yes. Hold on. Stop this one.
Yeah, Spectrum has been playing games today.
Next on the agenda was outreach, right?
But you know what, Mahima, go ahead. You're co-chair, so you can continue.
Okay, cool. The outreach was next, right?
Yes.
Okay. So, for more of like the youth members who are here today. So obviously, we want to like expand the number of people we have on the youth committee, just because I think with the more voices that we have, or the more people that we have, the more things we can accomplish and the more things that we can do. Like, it is really awesome to have like 3 really dedicated people, and that's great, but it's even more awesome to have like 15 really dedicated people, because the more people that we have, the more like resources and the more talent and the more skills that we have, but also like the more ideas that we have and the more things that we want to accomplish, the more things that happen. So that's why outreach is really important. So I know a lot of us go to Granada here. And I think one of us goes to Chatsworth. Jaden, you go to Chatsworth, I think. Yeah, okay. So I think that it would be really cool if we could kind of like create a plan of action to do outreach within our own schools, or like within groups that we're part of. So maybe that means like, if you guys play sports, I know a lot of you guys do like robotics. Maybe that means reaching out to your robotics team, or reaching out to like sports teams that are in Porter Ranch. Claudia, do you have your hand up?
Yeah, so to be a member, do you have to live in Porter Ranch, or can it be like living around? So like Northridge, Granada Hills, is that fine?
Anywhere is fine, I think. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. We were originally, it's kind of hard because a lot of neighborhood councils don't have youth committees. And so the thing is like a lot of like youth that live in other places might not get opportunities to be involved with their neighborhood councils, which is why I think like to be part of the youth committee, it's a little bit more like the rules are a little bit more chill. It's just because like there aren't really that many neighborhood youth councils to become a part of. So you don't necessarily have to live in Porter Ranch. But like around there should be good. Like you can't live, I think, like 3 hours away or 2 hours away. Yeah.
Yeah, like maybe if you live in Granada, you might end up getting involved with the Granada Hills Youth Committee. But I know, like for most of us who live in Porter Ranch, we also go to Granada Hills. We spend time in Chatsworth, so everything is kind of interconnected.
Yeah. So no, you do not have to like live just in Porter Ranch. They can live around here. But also, Mr. Ballin, did you have a hand up?
So just to reiterate, LAUSD Tara, she will work with you guys. And so if you guys want, if the Porter Ranch Neighborhood Youth Council wants to establish some type of flyer, we can send that to LAUSD and it'll be posted. They'll post it at Chatsworth. They'll post it at Chaminade. They'll post it at El Camino, anywhere, because we even have kids, believe it or not, that live in Porter Ranch that go to El Camino. So, the main thing is just to be able to reach out to our local high schools and middle schools, because, with the age group, to get people involved. We can send it over to PRCS, Frost, if we really want to keep it, close. And the whole thing with the youth council is everybody moves on. So we need to keep our youth involved, and you guys are leaders now, but come May, you guys are off to bigger and better things, so our goal is to encourage people to get involved. So if you can get any type of, you guys are very creative, any type of flyer to talk about the youth council, when your next meeting will be, anything, they'll post it for us. Tara will send it out to the principals. The principals will talk about it on their PA systems in the morning. So anything and we will post it. I mean, it's important to get people, we need the input. That's the bottom line. And this is supposed to be fun. It's not, and plus anybody that's on this meeting tonight, if you do need to get hours, we can write off your hours for you. So every meeting that you show up, it's an extra hour. So it all adds up. So that's a great way to get people to come in and get involved, is you get your hours taken care of just by attending a Zoom meeting.
Yeah. Two things really quickly. I think that the flyer idea is a really, really good idea. And that doesn't only have to go to like the LAUSD board, but it can go to like I know like a lot of like sports teams would be willing to post that in like whatever like main headquarters they have, or like rooms that they have and other places like that. So does anybody have like experience with Canva design? I know Maddie and I do, but does anybody else have experience working with Canva?
Yeah, I've done a lot of Canva design before for like a bunch of different clubs and like teams, so I can also help with that.
Really? Okay, great. Wait, who said that? I'm so sorry.
Angela. Sorry, I'll tell my
Yes.
camera in a sec. I'm gonna leave really quick and then I'll join the call through my computer. Sorry.
No worries.
Okay, no, don't worry. Okay, so Angela, does anybody else have experience with Canva?
Experience, so I could help with that.
Was that Claudia?
Yeah.
Yes.
Cool. I know that when I was doing a lot of outreach, because I don't know why, but I always end up doing a lot of outreach for like a lot of the programs I'm in. We would do this thing called like Outreach Hub, which is like a Google Sheet, and we would put a bunch of community organizations or like schools or like places that we can reach out to within the community, and then be like, find their contact information and then email them that with like using email templates. So maybe we can create like an email template in a Google like spreadsheet, and we can all like take certain places and reach out to them ourselves. Claudia, your hands up.
Also, I think it'd just be helpful to like have a digital flyer and then have people share it on social media, and also like Google Classrooms, like Club Google Classrooms, things like that. Like I have friends that are like club presidents. Like I'm a club president. I could share it with the club and stuff like that.
Oh, what club are you president of?
Middleman and crochet club. So
Oh, wait, that's so cute. Crochet club. You said
yeah.
you like sport. That's great. Um, yeah, Google Classroom is such a good idea. And I also know like a lot of people in the academic program that we're in are into like civic engagement. So they have civic engagement clubs. Maddie, are you back?
Yes, I am so sorry. I said earlier in the beginning that my
Sorry, the phone view is like really narrow. Anyways, I'm gonna write this down. You can take over directing.
All right. Sorry, I want to apologize to everyone. My internet's been going a lot, so if I end up disappearing sometime later in the meeting, I'm gonna hand it off to Mahima, because I won't be here. But so did you guys move on to agenda item number 8, which was discussion of community outreach goals, or you move on to the
Yes, that
grant?
is where we're at right now. So what we talked about so far is that we're gonna try to make Canva for like flyers and then also social media posts, and then try to promote it on social media, but also on Google Classroom, and then also work out like a Google sheet where we can like assign outreach goals to individual people. So like for example, maybe like Claudia would reach out to like 3 or 4 schools, and like some other people would reach out to sports teams, or like some other people would reach out to like I don't know, like art groups or art classes, and then that's how we would go about doing like outreach.
Definitely. I definitely think that's a very, very solid plan in terms of any outreach going. Yeah, so for those of you who are attending the meeting tonight, I know Claudia's attended a few of our youth committee meetings in the past, and Angela's getting very involved with Neighborhood Council as well. Jaden, I believe this is my first time meeting you. I'm very happy to have you here. So just with the Neighborhood Council in general, getting involved is always, there's so many students in Granada, like any high schools in general, that want to get active and they want to get involved in these type of affairs, but they're not actually quite sure how to. And so essentially the youth committee in itself is kind of the funnel towards neighborhood council and just becoming an active community minded member. This committee is also meant to provide different volunteer opportunities, and it's essentially made for the students. So anything that the students want to bring to the table, whether it be they want to fundraise perhaps for different masks for their community, or they want to organize some sort of event, that is definitely something that is within the means of the youth committee too. In the past, we've organized different various cleanups. I've also been working with Granada Hills South Neighborhood Council youth committee, since it seems as a lot of the attendees, at the other youth committees as well are from Granada Hills Charter, which just happens to be a big school. But of course, all students are welcome as well. We've actually recently just finished organizing an environmental awareness day, which was a very big, very successful event. We had Mr. Hector there as well. So we were working in conjunction with the Chatsworth Neighborhood Council with Miss Jill Mather. It was a very big, fun event. I know a lot of students that came out had a really great time, and it's also a chance for high schoolers as well to gain those volunteer hours necessary, which are very important in high school as well. And essentially, this club is also an avenue for you to gain any sort of type of leadership experience, whether it be you leading any sort of opportunity to fundraise for something, or just like with the grant, it's also a fantastic opportunity for students to dip their toes in the water when it comes to engaging in that sort of thing as well. With the grant especially, I think it's a great opportunity to have a large amount of students, that we start as many students as we can, come out and volunteer. Because also on top of it being a great thing and us beautifying the community, it's also a great opportunity for kids to just come out and have fun and engage with community members and have fun making a tangible difference in the park, something that everybody will go through every day and see. And so that's also very good as well. So moving on, if no one has anything else to say, we can move on to agenda item number 9.
You have
which
two
is
hands that are
discussion
up.
of
You have
possible-
Mahima and Jason.
Sorry about that. Just
Oh,
Mr. Hector?
I'll go first. Yeah, I think what you said there, Madison, is basically like what you can put on the flyer. And I think that, and I think that you can have about 3 different flyers. Like you can have one that is like kind of a recruitment flyer. We're looking, calling out to, students ages, blah, 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 or whatever, just like kind of a recruitment flyer. But then you can have another flyer that's like, you know, beautify your community or get involved in your community, make a difference, right? You can have that kind of flyer too. And I think because what you want to do is have different ones that you're going to feed out there on your social media, or, you know, because having different flyers will appeal to different people, you know. And I think that if you guys have like 3 or 4 people that are good in Canva, and I think each of you can, and what's really cool is that, you know, David and I and Assad, we all have different channels that we can get this out to, aside from you guys. Like, you have your local channels within your school and your clubs, which is really cool. But like, David and I can help you and show you how to get it out to, you know, to the school district, or to the, you know, we can help in other ways. We have our like 5,000 plus members on our email list here in Porter Ranch. So that's, you know, some of the tools that we can assist you with. So I think it's awesome. And the spreadsheet idea is perfect. You can have like all the different go-to things. Like, you know, you can have, you know, each board has an email, right? You know, ours is board@purnc.org. Chatsworth is, I think you email president at Chatsworth. You know, we can help you with all that. So like, once you create the spreadsheet, we can help add emails that people that you want to send to, like Tara, and like, you know, Principal Price at Castle Bay, or, you know, the principal at your school, or the principal at Chatsworth, right? If you email something to the principal and you say, hey, we're trying to get the word out, you know, this is the stuff, you send them a flyer, I'm sure they'll be happy to include it in their newsletter. And then you have like the Kennedy Voss, you know, that's like the community of schools, which is like, I think, the 12 different schools within this area. If you send it to them, and, you know, there's a lot of different channels. So, you know, you can get this thing out there and help build your group. But those are all great ideas, and everything that you basically said, I think you can incorporate portions of that into the flyer.
Perfect. Thank you so much. I'll definitely be sure to jot that down. I think the different flyers thing would be a great avenue for just targeting different things as well. I think that's a great idea. Mahima?
Oh, I just wanted to say, like, so I wrote down everything that everyone's talking about, and I think it's really cool. But I was wondering if, so obviously, like, we are all like very dynamic people, and we all have like a lot of different passions and interests. So like Claudia was talking about how she likes crocheting and knitting and stuff, and I also talked about how I like filmmaking, and I know some of you guys talked about like swimming and things like that. But do any of you guys think that you could take whatever passions you already have and use them in like an outreach type way? I know that might sound kind of weird, but like, for example, like I remember in the very beginning, Madison and I were talking about using like another group I'm part of called Match Cut Movies to like make a film on like how youth committees were originally like written out of the bylaws of a lot of neighborhood councils, and how that like took away a lot of like youth voice, or like because of all this like voter apathy. And we were talking about making a documentary about that, and because that is one of the skills that I have. It did not end up working out because I'm a senior in high school and I have a lot to do, but since college reps are over, I think we could like start doing that again. But I was wondering if any of you guys have like any other like skills or passions that you think can potentially be converted into like outreach efforts. Like if any of you guys are like really into art, yeah, I don't know if any of you guys have one off the top of your head, you can talk about it right now. But if you don't, you should think about like, is there anything that I do in like my day-to-day life that I could probably use to help like with outreach efforts? I think that would be cool for all of us. That way we all have something like different and unique to contribute along with the Google Sheet and the spreadsheet. Yeah.
Great. Thank you so much, Mahima. I think it's definitely something for all of us to think about. Definitely diverting our different passions and different skills towards putting it towards good use in the youth committee. I think that's definitely something that we can focus on channeling. If no one else has any other comments, I'm going to move on to agenda item number 5, which is discussion of possible collaboration with Granada Hills South Neighborhood Council Youth Committee. Okay, so this should be very brief. So I just became co-chairs with Miss Abby Ronquillo, who's on the Granada Hills South Neighborhood Council Youth Committee, and she's been directing right now. And so because a lot of students in the community are from Granada Hills Charter High School, a lot of those students have become very, very involved, or at least been wanting to show some sort of interest in participating in neighborhood council affairs. And so what I propose because like as chair of both committees, I wanted to perhaps channel or take some of the students that are participating in the neighborhood council affairs of Granada South Neighborhood Council and perhaps divert them more towards Porter Ranch. I know a lot of with Porter Ranch, the primary high schools are as well are like Chatsworth and I think there's somewhere else. Chatsworth, I think, is the primary high school that's within the Porter Ranch boundaries. But with that as well, I just thought it would be, I wanted to talk about perhaps just collaborating with different youth over there. And just like at our Environmental Awareness Day event, we had students from all over the valley, from different high schools come to help out. I believe we had students from Chatsworth, Voss, Granada, Cleveland, just all over the place that actually wanted to come and volunteer. So it was a really great opportunity. And so moving forward, perhaps having more opportunities like that to have a conglomerate of different students, we can perhaps take those students and channel them more towards participating in the Porter Ranch Neighborhood Council Youth Committee, which also has very dynamic and good group of people as well. That was just basically it. That's all I wanted to talk about for agenda item number 9. If anybody has any comments or questions.
I think Sierra Canyon also,
Great.
a lot of our residents go to Sierra Canyon.
Mhm.
In a lot of, Chatsworth, Chaminade, I know David's children go to Chaminade. So I think as part of your spreadsheet, you'll get certain contacts in these schools, keep them in the loop, and then they'll feed it through their channels. Jill has good contacts at Sierra Canyon.
Right. Those were
Claudia
definitely.
has her hand up.
I'm sorry?
Claudia has her hand up.
Sorry, there's someone in my room.
Oh, no, you're good.
I think it would be helpful if there was like an emailing list or something for the people that come to meetings regularly, because since we don't have like meetings on a set date every week or something like that, it's hard to keep track of when the meetings are if I'm not like checking the website like every week. So yeah, I think it'd be helpful to send out an email like the day before a meeting or something like that. Yeah.
Perfect. Yeah, that actually takes us into the next agenda item, agenda number 10, which was discussion of next possible committee meeting date. And I definitely know that with the youth committee, meeting dates have been very, very sporadic throughout the year, which is something that I wanted to change, at least for students who are actually interested in participating in this youth committee. So like Claudia mentioned, I definitely wanted to start some sort of emailing list, or I believe we may have gotten the emails before in the past, but with some of the new people here, I'd love to get them again. And we can actually just start, Mahima and I will get more on top of sending emails out regularly. And we're thinking perhaps maybe, depending on the different affairs that come up, because with the youth committee, it's a very, sometimes we're working on projects, sometimes we're not. Some of them are more long-term projects, just like Mr. Hector's beautification grant, and some of them projects we were working on earlier, like the Environmental Awareness Day event. It was more a very short-term thing. And so when it comes to scheduling the meetings and everything, I know throughout the weekday it can be a bit hard for students at least to come out. But I was wondering, does this time for students generally work for everyone, this date on Wednesdays? But I do know that the Porter Ranch Neighborhood Council board meetings are on a certain Wednesday as well, so I need to be mindful of that. But does 6 o'clock seem to work for a lot of students? Yeah. Okay. All right, that's good. All right, is there a way, should I open up the,
Second, Madison, I just wanted to follow up on something with you really quick. What I would like to do for the youth committee is get our more governmental affairs people, like we have elections coming up. So there's going to be people, I mean, if there's somebody that the youth is interested in speaking to or having dialogue with, let me know and I'll reach out to them, because it's important that we get people, like when we brought Scott Schroelson came, they couldn't leave. They were so enthralled with what was going on. They couldn't leave to go back to the meeting that they left. So I think it's really important that we, we grab a hold of all these people. It could be, I could be our city attorney. You guys don't realize that your votes matter. I mean, your voice matters. So for them to be able to come out and speak to the youth, even for 5 or 10 minutes, and for you guys to be able to have dialogue with, the politicians or, assembly members or senators, we can call them. They'll show up for us. So if there's somebody that you guys want to have a discussion with, or you want someone just to come and give you update about what's going on, it's important that we do that, because this is an amazing platform to bring people in. It benefits you, and it also benefits them. So keep that in mind. We have a couple more hands. Sorry about that.
No worries at all. Mr. Hector?
Yeah, if you guys need any support, like financially, like maybe you want to get your own constant contact account, or maybe you want to start your own email distribution list, or if there's things that you need to be budgeted for, we have a budget and we have funds, and so David and I can help put a motion forth to the board to get you the things that you need or want for your committee. So keep that in mind. But yeah, I totally agree with what David said. I think that well, another point I want to make, you guys need to think about the transition to the next group, right? Because you're seniors now, you're going off to college. So I think that maybe you guys want to, on your next meeting, talk about who would maybe making a new co-chair, adding people, and essentially putting a system in place that will continue when you leave, right? That's why I'm thinking, like, maybe creating the G Suite account with the Google Sheets, and just kind of building all that stuff. And if you want to have your own, constant contact, or whatever you want to do, whatever you need, Canva account, just let us know. We'll take it to the board. We'll get the funding. I'm the treasurer. I'll put in the thing for it. So, but as far as what David's saying about the people, but we have to get it approved first, right? David's smiling. But as far as what David's saying, I think that one of the things you guys might want to do is kind of come up with some main things that are very important to you guys, like, main issues, right? Like, goals, like setting goals for the committee, or, maybe you want to learn more about a specific topic, because like when you kind of give us that information, then David and I can go, or Assad, we can go, we should bring in this person, or we should bring in that person, or, but you guys should bring the ideas, right? You guys should be like saying, these are what we're seeing, maybe it's bullying on campus. I know there's a lot of, mental health issues, whatever it may be. Then David and I can kind of brainstorm, and we can think, you know what, maybe we should have so-and-so, or maybe there's an event that you can do, or maybe, a Zoom meeting that you guys can host, and in collaboration with other youth committees, or maybe in collaboration with your school. Maybe you want to do something with your high school, or with Scott Schmerlson's office. So coming up with the ideas is kind of the first start, and then you can kind of build on that and figure out. So yeah, those are the things I wanted to
Great, thank you so much, Mr. Hector and Mr. Billen. Yeah, I definitely think that all the points that you brought up were very valid. In terms of bringing in the next generation of those who are interested in running the youth committee, that's definitely something that we need to focus on as well. And at least those who have shown a very, very clear interest in perhaps leading this committee, we can definitely, him and I can definitely start working on building some sort of foundation, as well as whether it be creating a Gmail account or a G Suite account for the youth committee, and starting to add different resources and different past projects that we've worked on. I've also been keeping a record of all of the past projects, events, and people we've reached out to on different Google Docs. So that's definitely something that we can add to that as well. So when it comes to just the youth committee in general, and asking different representatives to come out and speak, that definitely, I would say, is probably the most valuable part of what I've just learned from being involved with neighborhood council for a while now. I definitely say even just attending the board meetings, like watching the actual officials come and speak on different issues that are happening throughout the valley or the community was definitely something that I gained valuable experience on. And inviting these guest speakers, well, is definitely a great opportunity for all the students in the committee to get a taste of what governing or politics is kind of like within on a much smaller scale than in the neighborhood. So with that, Mahima and I can definitely move forward and start discussing more set regular meeting dates, and we'll definitely start working on accumulating all the different resources and even talking about putting a system in place at least to elect new committee chairs. I know I think all of the students here besides Mahima and I are either a year or two younger than us, so that would definitely be something very viable that we can pass on to either Claudia, Angela, or Jaden. So yeah,
We're not asking you to leave right this second, just so you know that. You still have some time. But no, I mean, you'll know exactly, you'll know when you're exhausted, because it's your senior year. I'm not really sure exactly when everything kind of when everything gets so busy your senior year with your dances and everything else and your proms and graduation, everything like that. So you'll figure out what date you want to do the transition and everything like that. But I think you're spot on having a kind of like a set date for your meetings, because believe it or not, I think the youth, they prefer knowing exactly when the meetings are going to happen ahead of time so they can plan on it. I think that, here's the thing is if you have like monthly meetings or every other month meeting, they don't have to be very long because you can meet, you can discuss what needs to be discussed and then move on. So just a food for thought.
This third Wednesday might work good because if we have our board meeting on the second Wednesday, and then it's easy to remember, right? Like we meet on the second Wednesday, you meet on the third Wednesday. Or maybe you want to do it the first Wednesday, but it might be good to just keep it, same.
Yeah, definitely. I think for now we can definitely bank on having the third Wednesday, at least if that still works for everyone, reserved for youth committee meetings. And even then, at that time, perhaps Hima and I can work on towards perhaps speaking to Mr. Balin about possible guest speakers as well. Just with guest speakers, I'll be interested in speaking about issues that are important to the youth committee and just students in general.
I can tell you right now that, our supervisor race for LA County in our district is going to be a heated debate. And, we know most of the people that are going to be running, and to get them to come in, they would love to speak to the youth. We also have Suzanne Valadares. She's very involved with the youth. She would show up. I mean, there's so many people that would just show up. You have no idea. They'd be so honored just to take 15, 20 minutes out of their day and have dialogue with you. So I think you should use it to your advantage and invite people. What we can do is, and what I'll do for you is every time we do a new agenda, as long as I know about it ahead of time, I'll send it out to all of our elected officials, and they'll send somebody or they'll show up for a comment period, and that will open it up for dialogue for the students as well. Thank you.
Perfect. Yeah, that definitely sounds like a very definitive goal that we can move towards, at least with the youth committee. Yeah, so that's actually our last agenda item for today. A lot of excellent points were brought up in today's meeting, and I definitely think that Hima and I at least can start working on a lot more, just because for the past semester, we were really busy with the college applications, but with everything done this semester, we should definitely have at least a bit more time to work on youth committee affairs. And I'm going to be here until the end of summer, at least, or until whatever time I go to college. So I'll definitely be here, and I'll definitely want to build a foundation, something that will last, so that our predecessor or whoever's coming after us can carry on whatever affairs that we're planning on working on. So with that, I'll make a motion to adjourn. If anybody else has comments or something you want to talk about, just raise your hand. If not, the movement to adjourn. All right. Perfect. Great.
Excellent meeting. Thank you.
No worries. Thank you, Mr. Billy, Mr. Hector, and Mr.
Good job, everybody.
Zafra. Thank you.
It's
Right.
super great.
Everyone. See you guys. Have
Thank
a great.
you.
No problem.